Alright, welcome everyone. I have a story for you guys. Story coming right from my heart, right from AJ. Um, it was the first couple weeks being in Japan, and they were taking out all of us exchange students to this sort of mall-like area called Oasis 21 in Sakai. Uh, and they had a group of all of us exchange students, and then we had some Japanese students showing us around, taking us shopping. It's a really cool place, actually. I mean, they have like several different floors, and on the very top floor, the roof is actually this kind of like pond, water fountainy thing. Very interesting, completely see-through ground. Like when you look up, you see people's shadows on frosty glass walking over the top on the roof. It's kind of scary when you're walking up there, though, because you like look down and you're like, oh my god, please don't break on me. Um, it doesn't look very stable at all, but it's fine. But anyway, so the story starts there. It was like any other day, like these stories usually begin. Um, and I was venturing around with everyone else, checking out the shops, looking at the Pokemon store they had. Oh my god, a Pokemon store? What? And we were doing lunch break or whatever, and at one point I go off to go to the restroom, which is on like the corner of the entire mall. I think it's like we're in the only few, like they have like only two bathroom areas in the whole place. So it's just kind of weird. But anyway, I went into the corner of this place, off to the side, away from the whole group, and I walked into the bathroom. It looks like any other bathroom. I pushed open one of the stalls. Now, Japanese stalls are different from American stalls, if you don't know this already. First off, they don't have any like peaky holes on the sides. You can't look underneath or on top really. It's just like a wall, okay, and you push it in. It's like Anyway, when I walk into it, actually, because you weren't there. What are you talking about? When I walk into it, I look down, and there it is, my first encounter with a Japanese toilet. And it's just like, I close the door because I don't want anyone to know that, first off, I don't know what I'm doing, and second off, that I don't know what I'm doing. So I close the door right away. I'm like, okay, looking down. And I'm completely alone. I can't ask anyone. I can't ask any of the, Japanese tourist or tour guide people. So I look down. I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. Um, Now, when I say Japanese toilet, I should make this distinction. There are two kinds of Japanese toilet, and they can both make you have the same reaction. And that reaction is, how do I use this? The first off is the traditional toilet, where it's on the floor and you squat over it. The second kind is the high tech. It looks like American, but as soon as you see it, that's not the normal American toilet because it has all these buttons and gadgets all over it. So in this case, it was the second one. I was okay with probably the first one, like the traditional toilet. I know what to do there. You just squat, you're fine. Second toilet has so many buttons. They're all in kanji that I don't know yet. So like I thought, oh, I'll figure it out. I just have to push a bunch of buttons, and eventually it has to be one of them. I mean, it's not too embarrassing to push all of them. I mean, just do it in synchronization with other people's like flushing or something, so people don't hear you making weird sounds. Like, what am I doing to myself? So I'm pushing all these buttons. Some of them are doing like just like, you know, fine things like making music go so people don't hear you, because it's a cultural thing to not be rude about like those sort of sounds. So you push music button when you're going. Then there's like the bottom washing button, where it sprays water at your butt, and sometimes it does like in circles and stuff depending on what kind you got, what kind of toilet, how high tech it is. You can decide like if it twists or something, and like the temperature of the water. And they also have a female cleansing button too, and then they have the air drying button for after use of those two. And so I'm trying out all these things for the first time, and I'm having some pretty new experiences. I'm just like, oh my god. And it's just kind of embarrassing, because like I was just like American, and I'm sure I was making it just like woo kind of sounds like oh, and just like I'm sure people were noticing I was just pushing random buttons. So I pushed all the buttons by this time, and I'm like, it still hasn't flushed. I can't just walk out without flushing. I mean, that's just gross. This is ugh. So I'm looking around, and I see this button in the wall, and I'm like, okay. And then next to it is this huge round button thing to push in, and I'm like, okay, well that one looks dangerous. That one looks like, oh, you have to have like strength, like be a muscle builder to push it in. So it can't be that one. It must be the small one here. So I go and I push this small one, and of course it has kanji on it. I don't know how to read it. And I push it, and it doesn't do anything. And only one side goes in. I'm like, maybe it's broken or stuck. So I push on the other side, and surely enough, the fire alarm. Oh my god. The fire alarm goes off. The freaking fire alarm goes off on me. And you know, I was trying this whole time not to bring attention to myself. And I pushed the fire alarm, and it rings like loud, and all the toilets flush. Thank goodness, my goal was achieved at least. All of them were flushed. Everything was sanitary, guys. But everyone's getting out of the stalls and looking around, and everyone just like, as soon as I get out of my stall, everyone's just staring at me. People just like stop. They were washing their hands. They stopped and they're just looking at me, and like they're like, "I know you did it, you gaijin, you." And I was like, "No!" And someone even says in English, "Where's the fire?" Not to me, like to like someone on the side. As like a sort of, you know, yeah. And I was like, oh god, oh god. So I'm just like washing my hands real quick. Oh my god, please. And I'm like, you know, getting the soap out. I'm like, oh, the soap won't dispense. The soap won't dispense. And finally it does a little bit. I'm like, okay. And I'm like washing my hands super quick. And people are just like looking at me, and they're like, we know you did it. We know you did it. It almost felt like it was like a sacrifice ceremony was going to begin, because people were just like staring at me, just like dead staring at me. And I walk out, and I start fast walking towards my group in the fast food area, and I'm just like running. I'm like just walking fast, and I see in the distance, looking back, this woman who was, I guess, security, but she was like in a police kind of outfit. She was running to the bathroom, and all these other people are going there, and everyone's starting to huddle up next to the bathroom. All these random people, because they have sectionalized fire alarms, so only the fire alarm in the bathroom is going off. And just think how rare that would be for a fire to start in a bathroom. I mean, they don't even have paper towels, guys. You air dry, or you have your own like handkerchief or something to dry your own hands, or you just like do the American thing and like slap it on your like leg, your jeans or whatever, and you just go with it. You know, there's nothing to set on fire necessarily except for the toilet paper, but you're gonna accept, like, not thinking about that, guys. Don't think about that. Just like how rare it would be for there to be a fire in this bathroom. I mean, and people just gathering around and talking about it. I'm just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And I'm like, oh no, I used my thumb. And I'm like looking down my thumb. I'm like, oh no. And they have my handprints at the embassy. I was so worried that, like, for some illogical reason, I was just like, I was worrying the first like week or two after that police officers are gonna come and arrest me or something because I pushed in a fire alarm on accident trying to flush a toilet in Oasis 21, the mall. Oh my god. So yeah, it turns out that the huge button that was silver and looked all, you know, dangerous, that's the flash. You push it in. You actually kind of like have to punch it in. Um, no, yeah, it's not the similar, you know, correct looking button, guys. No, don't do that when you get to Japan. No, trust me, don't do it unless, you know, you like parties.